From Rapunzel getting pregnant to Beauty's sister wanting her dead, we bring you the 10 dark origins of fairy tales part 2. Stay tuned. Number 10. Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, a merchant stumbled upon a huge castle. He saw a beautiful red rose on the table and wanted to give it to his youngest daughter, Beauty. The beast caught the man and threatened to kill him. The man pleaded for the beast to spare his life. The beast agreed letting him live. However, he would have to send his youngest daughter to the castle and live with the beast. Surprisingly, the man agreed, but on the bright side, he was lying. However, Beauty soon found out about the promise his dad made and went to the castle willingly to be enslaved. The beast gave Beauty everything she ever wanted, but Beauty was still homesick. She begged the beast to let her go home. The beast agreed, but she must return within a week's time, or else. The beast gave Beauty a magical mirror that would allow her to see what's going on back in the castle, and a ring that allows her to return to the castle immediately. Beauty's sister were jealous knowing the beast gave Beauty everything she ever wanted, so they wanted her dead. The sisters convinced Beauty to stay for more than a week, hoping the beast would eat her alive for breaking her promise. Beauty agreed staying for more than a week, but started feeling guilty soon after. She used the magical mirror and was shocked to find that the beast was lying on the ground, half dead. She used the ring to return to the beast immediately, hugged the beast, and when one of her tears landed on the beast turned back into a handsome prince. Beauty fell in love with the prince, and the prince asked Beauty's hand in marriage, and they lived happily ever after. Beauty and the Beast is number 10 because compared to the rest of the countdown, it is far less disturbing. Number 9. The Ugly Duckling. Once upon a time, a little bird in a farm was verbally and physically abused by the farm animals. The abuses were so bad, he had to leave the farm. However, he soon found a group of wild ducks and geese to live with. All of them were soon slaughtered by hunters, and he was the only one that survived. An old lady soon found the ugly duckling and gave it a home, but he was bullied by her cat and hen mercilessly, and thus he left the old lady's house. Winter soon came, and the ugly duckling spent the season cold, scared, and alone. When spring arrived, a flock of swans descended on the lake near him. He was so miserable that he told himself that he would rather be killed by such beautiful birds than to live a life of ugliness and misery. The ugly duckling approached them and was surprised to learn that the swans welcomed him instead of attacking him. He looked into the reflection in the water and realized that he is now a beautiful swan. He spread his wings and flew into the sky with his new family. The ugly duckling reaches number 9 because of the physical and mental abuses in the story. Number 8. Rapunzel. Which version of Rapunzel is the origin is debatable, so I'm just going to talk about the darkest and the most famous version. Long ago, a pregnant lady was craving for a delicious plant called Rapunzel until the extent she would die for it. So the husband set out to find the plant which he knew was abundant in a witch's garden. The witch caught the man in her garden and became furious. He begged the witch to spare his life. The witch agreed, but he has to give her his firstborn. Surprisingly, he agreed. Not long after, the woman gave birth to a girl, and for some reason, they named her after the delicious plant, Rapunzel. After that, they handed Rapunzel to the witch, where she was enslaved in a tall concrete tower. Soon after, a prince found Rapunzel. She let down her golden locks, and the prince climbed the tower with it, so he can sleep with her. And Rapunzel got pregnant. Yeah. The witch found out what happened, cut Rapunzel's golden locks, and threw her into the woods to die. The prince returned to the tower and shouted the famous quote, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your golden hair." Again, he climbed the tower with Rapunzel's hair, but was surprised that it was not Rapunzel in the tower, but the witch. The witch pushed him off the tower, and he landed on a bush of thorns. Some of the thorns went through his eyes, blinding the prince. The prince wandered around the woods for months, blind and confused, until one day, he heard Rapunzel singing. He followed the song and found Rapunzel and his two children. Rapunzel hugged the prince, and when her tears struck his hand, his eyes recovered immediately. He asked her hand in marriage, and they lived happily ever after, I guess. Rapunzel reaches number 8 because of the horrible parenting, the enslavement, and of course, the thorns through the eyes. Ouch. Number 7. The Ant and the Grasshopper. In the origin, the grasshopper is actually a cicada. Once upon a time, a cicada was dancing and singing while the ants worked very hard to prepare for winter. The cicada laughed at the ants and even convinced them to join him. However, none of the ants did. When winter came, the cicada found itself dying from starvation and hypothermia. He approached the ants and begged them to give him a place to stay and some food. The ants refused and asked the cicada to dance the winter away. At the end of the story, the ants survived the winter and the cicada died of hypothermia. This story reaches number 7 because a character actually died of hypothermia and the ants' unwillingness to help him. Number 6. The Little Match Girl. In the Dark Origins, the little girl tried returning home when she was starving and cold, but her father scolded and even beat her because she did not sell enough matches. She was sent back into the streets to sell the matches. The cold became unbearable for her, so she decided to warm herself with the matches. Not long after, she started hallucinating. She saw food, a warm room, and a loving family. The hallucination didn't last long because the girl died of hypothermia soon after. The Little Match Girl reaches number 6 because it contains abusive parents and the suffering and death of a little innocent girl. Number 5. Hua Mulan. The oldest version of Mulan is still unknown today, so I'm just going to tell one of the most famous versions. A woman named Mulan took her father's place in the army because she loved her father, and her father was also too old for the army. After she served her time in the army, she returned home, but she learned that her father passed away when she was in the army. She also learned that her mother remarried and even changed her own surname. And to make things worse, she was in a way forced to be a concubine. Her life was falling apart, and her final words before she committed suicide were, "I am a girl. I have been through war and have done enough. I now want to be with my father." Hua Mulan reaches number 6 because the hero became so miserable that she chose to take her own life. And the ending is just plain sad. Number 4. Aladdin. Once upon a time, Aladdin was asked by a sorcerer to fetch a special lamp in a cave. The sorcerer gave Aladdin a ring, and when he rubbed his hand against the ring, a lesser genie appeared from it. With the help of the lesser genie, Aladdin managed to escape the cave with the special lamp. Before Aladdin handed the lamp to the sorcerer, his mother rubbed the lamp and released the all-powerful genie inside. With his newfound genie, Aladdin became ambitious and wanted to marry the Sultan's daughter. But the princess already had a fiancé. So Aladdin decided to mess with them. On their wedding night, Aladdin kidnapped the princess, forced her to spend a night with him, and tortured her fiancé. This was repeated numerous times until the princess' fiancé ran away. And for some strange reasons, the princess agreed marrying him at the end. So, through luck and extreme abuse of power, Aladdin finally got what he wanted. The sorcerer soon found out about Aladdin. He realized that the princess did not know about the all-powerful genie and tricked her into trading the genie lamp with a new but ordinary lamp. With the genie lamp, the sorcerer transported the palace and everyone inside into the desert. Luckily, Aladdin still has the ring. With the lesser genie, he teleported himself to the sorcerer's location and killed the sorcerer by outsmarting him. And Aladdin and the princess live happily ever after, I guess? Aladdin reaches number 4 because this story consists of murder, betrayal, torture, and extreme abuse of power. I wonder what type of sultan will he be. Number 3. The Three Little Pigs. Another story that is a little hard to tell which is the origin, but this is the darkest version. Once upon a time, there were 3 pigs. The first built its house using straw, the second built its house using sticks, and the third using bricks. One day, a wolf visited the pig who made its house with straws. With a huff and a puff, the wolf blew down the house and ate the pig. Next, he visited the pig who made its house with sticks. With a huff and a puff, the wolf blew down the house and ate the second pig. Lastly, the wolf visited the pig who made its house with bricks. The wolf wasn't able to blow down this house, so it decided to enter the house by sliding through the chimney. The pig predicted this would happen and boiled a cauldron of water. The wolf fell into the cauldron and the pig slammed the lid onto the cauldron. The wolf was cooked alive. And to make things worse, the pig ate the wolf at the end. The end. The Three Little Pigs reaches number 3 because 2 pigs were actually eaten, and it involves a character being cooked alive. Number 2. Chicken Little. Once upon a time, a nut fell on a little chicken's back. She was convinced the sky was falling and the world would end soon. She told all the animals nearby about it, including Horn Pond, the hen, Hen Pen, the cock, Ansett, the duck, Gaze Pace, the goose, and Red Scaife, the fox. They all started panicking, except for the fox. The fox saw this as an opportunity and counted how many animals there were. All the animals soon ran into the forest, and the fox followed them. One by one, the fox hunted them down and ate every single one of them. The end. Chicken Little reaches number 2 because this is a story where the bad guys win and where everyone was killed and eaten by the fox. Number 1. Bluebeards. There lived a rich and powerful man named Bluebeards. He was married several times, but all of his former wives disappeared soon after the marriage. Soon after, he was looking for a new wife, and he forced the neighbor's youngest daughter to marry him. One day, Bluebeard had to leave his chattel. He gave his keys to his wife and said she can enter any room in the chattel except for the underground chamber. She soon became rather curious and entered the underground chamber. Upon entering, she dropped the key as she screamed in horror. All of Bluebeard's former wives were hung on hooks from the chamber wall. She picked up the key that is now stained with blood and tried washing it off, but she just couldn't remove the bloodstains. Fearing for her life, she told her sister, Annie, about the underground chamber and to get help. Bluebeard came home soon after, and when he found the now bloodstained key, he was furious and threatened the wife that he would kill her on the spot. Before killing her, her sister and her brothers arrived. They outnumbered Bluebeard's and killed him in his own chattel. At the end of the story, the wife inherited Bluebeard's fortune, found another man, and remarried. So, it's a happy ending, I guess? Bluebeard reaches number 1 because of the psychopathic man who killed his former wives and kept their bodies as some sort of collection. You have to admit, that is pretty disturbing. And of course, there's the blood and the rotting flesh. And that's the end of the Dark Origins of Fairy Tales Part 2. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, check out Part 1 if you haven't, and subscribe for more disturbing facts. This is VendaSoul, saying stay safe, and thanks for watching.